Welcome back into the Proving Grounds. We're getting ready for our second series of the day. It's going to be between FlyQuest Academy and Evil Geniuses Academy. The two Academy squads facing off in round one. Should be a lot of exciting gameplay, but we got to kind of look back to the past a little bit. See, we already saw Cloud9 Academy have a great performance in their first round, overtaking Dignitas Mirage, knocking them down to the losers bracket.
Overall clean play, and probably the biggest discrepancy that we have in terms of seeds. It's more or less the expected result, but Dignitas Mirage did put up a pretty good fight in that game one. In this game, however, I feel like we're going to have a much more even match magical because FlyQuest Academy and Evil Geniuses Academy have played each other many times, even as recently as last week when they played in a best-of-3, in which FlyQuest Academy came out on top with a 2-1 victory in the Arena of Legends tournament.
Exactly, and that's the big thing here, is that FlyQuest Academy, they're a team that we are expecting to do really well. They were able to go into the finals and face off against Team Liquid Academy in that tournament. But Evil Geniuses Academy are a team that started off the Academy season not looking so hot. It was a little bit difficult for them. But lately, they've been looking far stronger, like a team that we're expecting greater things than the record had once shown.
And conversely, I mean, FlyQuest Academy, they look good throughout the entire season. They finished 6th overall, but that's just a single round robin. Sometimes, although you have great performances in some games, the score and just how close it is brings you closer than what you think it should be.
Exactly. I mean, and even in that 6th place finish for FlyQuest Academy, it was a bunch of ties there. We saw a lot of close records. So as we jump into Champions Select for this first game, it's going to be really interesting to see how these two teams are. Even if they're the 6th and 11th seed, I feel like that is not exactly how close in skill these two teams are to one another.
Yeah, the growth coming out of Evil Geniuses Academy, as you talked about, has been incredible to watch, and I'm really happy to see what they've been doing recently. However, in this game, they are banning away the junglers from NXI, who they fear as this power jungler who really comes out to shine in the early game and has made his team a powerhouse amongst the Academy scene.
As we even see a lot of similar kind of style coming in from FlyQuest Academy, but towards the top side, towards Tony Top, taking away Gnar and Renekton from him. I'm surprised, though, to see it's Azir being the final ban coming in from Evil Geniuses Academy, as opposed to taking away something like that Lilia that NXI does like to fall back to.
It's still available, but I do like the fact that they are targeting other lanes. I feel like Azir for triple is a particular powerful pick on his part. He does like to play it, and Jojo Pune also does love the control mages, will play the Victor, the Azir, etc. But for now, is considering the Lucian pick, which definitely flexible for Evil Geniuses Academy, a lot of things that can be done, and not showing your hand too early against FlyQuest.
But the thing that it really shows for me with Evil Geniuses Academy is that they understand their opponents in FlyQuest Academy. This is a team that likes to play for the mid to late game. They like to try to see if they can scale up and not really lose too much of a lead early on, and then outscale their opponents. As you can see from them grabbing Aphelios and Thresh, a weaker side bot lane, just to be able to get towards that mid game. But that's going to be difficult when you have a Nidalee and Lucian on the other side that are going to try to see if they can bully you around and be able to snowball out of control.
That's not going to happen. But one thing that I do like happening from FlyQuest Academy is they also have a really good presence early on in the jungle. And I think that's just NXI being everywhere as the Camille is hovered and locked in for Tony Top. And if we're talking about players that can really make an impact in a game, I feel like Tony Top for Evil Geniuses Academy, when he has an on-game, he is a 1v5 maniac. And when he doesn't have an on-game, not so much.
But the thing is, Camille is a great champion to be able to have those on games with, where you're able to completely dominate in a side lane and become unstoppable. We saw last series what happens when a player is able to play something and become unstoppable, such as Starshawn on that Vayne. Nobody can stand up against that side lane. Of course, you have to be able to do so here, and that's why we're probably going to see a lot more of these stronger picks, such as the Volibear, taken away from FlyQuest, so they're not going to be able to stop Tony Top as easily.
It is a good thing that they're now focusing for Tony Top. They did blind pick it, but at the same time, Camille is a blind pickable champion. Gangplank is still available. I feel like that's going to be something prioritized for FlyQuest Academy. Kumo's pretty decent at it, as well as the Ornn Malphite, those tankier matchups if they should want to go that direction. Poppy can be
I
banned
like
away.
that.
That's a scout if ever I've seen one.
See, I like that Poppy ban, though, because when you look at what Evil Geniuses Academy have drafted for themselves, they have so many dashes, and Poppy's steadfast presence can stop all of them. Being able to take that away so you don't have that his ability of being able to deny evil geniuses from diving in and being able to assassinate this backline as easily is a great read coming in.
It really is, and I feel like when you're drafting towards your composition and you're banning away things that are going to completely deny it, you're really thinking in the way that you should be, and Matalento definitely having a great draft so far. I feel like how he follows this up is going to be crucial, though, because the engage potential so far from this team, it's a little lacking, but the poke is amazing.
Oh, that is interesting. Grabbing Senna. So they are trying to answer the weak side bot lane with another weak side bot lane. Probably going to be that Tom Kench to round out the bot lane, be able to have the fasting Senna build in the bot lane so they can have Tony Top, Contracts, Jojo Pion be the ones to be able to set the pace of the game and constantly rotate around while having that essentially a support in Senna.
The other thing I'd be considering for this Evil Geniuses Academy side is the Maokai. It hasn't been seen so much out of pro play, but I feel like on 11.6 he's such a power pick and he can utilize the farming or the non-farming Senna really, really well as a support, as well as give the team the engage they need, because right now it's all poke. Yes, you have Tony Top on the Camille, but that's not going to be enough.
As we get that Shen to be able to try to deal with Tony Top's Camille on that top lane. It is a pretty good pick, and this is something, again, that kind of feeds into the identity that FlyQuest Academy have for themselves, which is drafting around team fighting in the mid game. But they still have to be able to survive that, and there it is. The unsurprising pick of Tom Kench to be paired up with that Senna. We're not too surprised to see that. But it's interesting to see that this bot lane is not going to be any priority, really, for Evil Geniuses Academy. They're only there really to set up and try to see if they can get Contracts, Jojo Pion, even Tony Top ahead.
I feel like NXI and Contracts really have a solo lane job more than anything else, as you were just pointing out, Magical. It's all about getting those early advantages, and especially for Tony Top, that is crucial. Kumo, he can absorb pressure a little bit, and he can definitely play around a weak side, but if you allow Tony Top to get those early advantages and get early kills, that is the sort of win condition Evil Geniuses Academy are going for. So FlyQuest Academy needs to consider that and really try to put NXI more towards that Rift Herald side.
And with this play, it's kind of like who's going to be able to read who first, and are either team really going to be able to commit to that kind of style? Going to be able to play around the top side? Is Contracts even going to want to play around the top side? Maybe that it's going to be the ultimate bait where they're like, oh, we totally want to play around top side, but then go bot lane because they have the double supports and are trying to use Contracts, as you kind of even alluded to as well, that solo style. It's more about Contracts being the carry as opposed to Shoryu being the one that you want to be able to funnel gold into.
And that's not even to say Shoryu is a player that doesn't work well with gold. It's just this in this composition, especially Contracts is the one that wants to get ahead. You want to make sure Nidalee has the early lead and is able to fight against NXI should there be a jungle confrontation.
Exactly. As we get ready to jump onto the Rift for Game 1 between FlyQuest Academy and Evil Genius Academy, these are the questions we'll have answered. See who's going to be able to do what and when. Right now, it's the typical line of scrimmage, thumbs up even, from Jojo Pion.
I don't know if anyone saw that, though, on the other side, so kind of more of a wink to the audience than anything. Breaking the fourth wall, we'll allow it for now, but I don't know if Evil Genius Academy want to deal with those fines quite yet.
See, I'm okay with breaking the fourth wall. I find those, it's like the Deadpool moments, you know, you're like, yeah, break the fourth wall, but it has to be done tactfully. You can't
and you
just
also can't do
overdo
it too much. Yeah, 100%. Exactly. You gotta use it occasionally, and right there at the beginning of the game, perfect. You do it 20 minutes into the game, not gonna fly.
Unless, of course,
that's a minus one ban.
Unless everyone's dead on your team, and then you give the thumbs up, and you're like, okay, cool. That's okay. See, it's about timing. It's about when do you actually go for that. But right now, nobody's really going for anything. We see a ward placed down just on their own red buff coming in from Evil Geniuses Academy. Reading to try to see if NXI is going to try to split the map right there in half and be able to instead play towards that top side as you were alluding to.
It should be noted that NXI, instead of going for the normal sweeper, level 1, has instead opted for the ward as the trinket slot. So I'm curious to see whether or not he goes aggressively into the jungle, or if he's just using this to maintain a layer of separation and safety for his top lane. Because Contracts is definitely going to be looking for early ganks, and I feel like Kumo, as Shen, is going to be fairly susceptible.
Could be susceptible. Could try to see if they want to play around them, but with Contracts pathing right now, going for the Grump, I want to see if maybe, just maybe, there's going to be an early gank to the spot lane, since Tomo Dreams getting a little bit of an advantage, trying to see if they can even get a lot of damage back onto shore. You forcing him away,
Whoa.
getting the heal out, but Dreams might get gobbled up. No, Six is going to back off that one, saying that Shoryu is a bit too low.
And that's the advantage that you get from a Aphelios versus Senna. You have the sustain and you have the ability to wave clear versus the Senna. Yes, you're going to get poked out at first, but Dreams was able to really turn that around, force a summoner spell out, and now the advantage fully in FlyQuest Academy's favor.
At least in the bot lane. When you look at the other lanes, mid lane, kind of even between Triple and Jojopion. Top lane is the one that really is going to have that depth discrepancy. Tony Top able to shove in Kumo, pin him right down towards his turret, but it is kind of frozen a little bit outside of range, which could give that path for NXI if he does go for a reset and gallop all the way top side, trying to help out Kumo, since we know this is that weak side top lane that Chen into Camille is not going to be the easiest of matchups.
It's not going to be easy, but it's definitely possible, and especially if Evil Geniuses Academy overextends and Tony Top goes for a dive he doesn't want to go for, Kumo is going to be able to capitalize on that. You have the Shadow Dash, you have the ability to dance around the Camille auto attacks with W, and Shen, he doesn't get dove very easily. Well, Evil Geniuses Academy are more than willing to do dives, even if they're not 100% on the play.
Though Shen is not that one I expect them to try to dive, just because how difficult that is. Even if you're going to be good at it. Bot lane, though. See, sure, you're taking a lot of damage again from Tomo and Dreams, but it's going to be able to get the lick onto Dreams, try to force him away. Bit of damage coming in from Tomo still, trying to harass Mystique, so he's not going to be able to recall as easily, but he does have TP, so it's actually going to be something that they're not really losing out too much to into Aphelios Thresh.
And you can see NXI just pathing towards that bot side. Nothing was able to come of it in terms of ganks, but does manage to pick up the Rift Scuttler and get the back. So at the very least, the pressure is there, the vision is there, and Evil Geniuses Academy have to be careful.
On the mini-map, the pings coming in from Evil Geniuses Academy on towards the top half. They know NXI is about to gallop straight towards that top side. Probably even look for the Blast Cone to be able to get... Oh, there's unfortunately not going to be the Blast Cone, but they're still going to be able to look for NXI to try to get into the top lane to grab Tony Top.
And in this mid lane, it's just kind of been back and forth. You can see the low health bars coming out of both Triple and Jojopion. If a jungler happened to be there at this time, man, wouldn't that be crazy magical?
Ooh, Triple got Jojopion really low. Not much mana, unfortunately, but he wants to be able to get that Frisbee to take down Jojopion. That'd be a hell of a way to start off this matchup, getting solo kill, but now that Contract is showing up, gonna be able to scare him away. He hasn't been spotted just yet. Finally will, though, as he jumps into the mid lane.
I think he might have just barely missed the vision, but either way, there was no play to be made. You can see how far back Triple was playing, wisely so, considering he needed the back. And with both lanes resetting, you can see Jojopion using the teleport. It's going to be a little while before he really affects the rest of the map. He's going to need some assistance from Contracts in order to win this one out.
At least something to be able to help out. We still haven't seen Contracts actually gank yet on any of these lanes. It's kind of difficult. Mid lane, Jojopion's been able to shove in Triple, so you're not really wanting to go for that just yet, even though it is an easier lane than, say, a Shen lane to try to gank. Even a Aphelios and Thresh lane's a bit difficult, so it could be their option to go for. But I'm waiting to see what Contracts is going to be able to do. When you grab this Nidalee, have a Lucian mid lane, you're trying to play for these early plays to get yourself a lead, to be able to snowball, but we haven't seen that just yet from Evil Geniuses.
And NXI hovering around the bot side will start up the Dragon, knowing that they have the full lane advantage. Contracts in the meanwhile.
Ooh, gonna have a ult for ult, landing the spear onto Triple, jumping in the flash away with the gravity field, getting a huge shield from the Stand United, trying to be able to get away. Contracts will be able to skirt the battle, but I think there was actually a cancel coming in. Kumo not able to complete the TP because Tony Top was able to deny that.
Very good heads-up play coming in from Tony Top, able to use the hook shot combo onto Shen. And with that, at the very least, they don't have to deal with repercussions on the side of Evil Geniuses Academy, but that's still a play that didn't yield anything quite yet, except for a couple summoner spells, and that's not what you want. You need Contracts to get kills, and you need Jojopion to be ahead at this point in the game.
As well as losing out on the Dragon over towards NXI, being able to get that first Ocean Dragon for themselves. But you gotta take a look at the replay. I do believe it just, like you said, it was going for the hook shot combo. Oh, no, actually.
Oh,
it just
he
went
canceled.
Yeah, he canceled it on his own.
Interesting. So maybe just fearing the all-in from Tony Top that was going to be coming in. The Hextech Ultimatum was burned in order to use it, but not really a whole lot you can do to Shen that close to a turret, as we talked about. Very hard to dive, and Contracts was in the area, but again, very, very hard to dive.
Then again, I also do think that the ultimatum stops it as well, because technically you're trying to get outside of the zone, so it drags you back in. You know, crazy stuff like that. But either way, it was making it so that there wasn't going to be the re-engage that could have come in from Kumo onto Contracts, making it so that all in all, not too much except for the bot lane. Going to be able to get the pull back in, try to spit out Shoryu to be able to get away with the miss to help out. But it's a good trade of damage back onto Mystiques and onto Shoryu coming in from Tomo and Dreams. More of these fights that are attempted, these skirmishes coming in from Evil Genius's Academy that aren't really leading them to anything.
It's making it difficult, but at the same time, they're still not really pushing a huge advantage quite yet. The experience is about even between these two teams, and Shoryu is more than happy to be this far down in terms of CS because, of course, he's not farming.
Yeah, it's the fasting Senna build, not really caring about it. You're more just there for it. I'm sure you're going to be able to get a lot of damage as Senna, but you're kind of also a support too. So you're really helping out. Oh, but NXI taking the spear, calling flashed away. NXI will be able to scamper on out of there to be able to survive, but unfortunately losing the flash is going to be an easy target, and if Contracts wants, there is a Rift Herald up.
Well, you know, credit to Contracts, his spears are landing. They're just not able to convert to anything other than a summoner spell at a time. That said, if he's able to push that advantage, which Contracts is an aggressive jungler, he knows how to do this, he might be able to turn that into a kill eventually. It's just the fact that the early plays aren't working out quite as well as he'd hoped.
But eventually, it's not what you need for this comp. You need you need something sooner.
You absolutely do, because this is an early to mid game comp, and without the early to mid game advantage, it falls apart pretty quickly against the scaling that's going to come in with Triple and Tumble.
Blocks the play, a lot of damage back onto Mystiques. You're going to be able to get the root they needed to, but it's onto Dreams. Don't take a lot of chunk of damage onto Mystiques, but not getting the kill just yet either. Seems like it's a lot from both teams. They're trying to be able to exert that mechanical prowess in each of these lanes, but they're just not able to get it. Barely people able to get away, even if they don't have the flashes. Mystiques didn't have the flash here, but was able to get back towards the turret and survive.
And with that, the Dragon Lane is forced to back away as Dreams and Tomo continue to push up, get a couple plates for themselves, and Evil Genius Academy happy to trade that for a Rift Herald, which may or may not be put topside considering the advantage that Tony Top's been able to get in terms of wave pressure.
That subtle Wild Rift reference there. I
It's
noticed
out.
it. I noticed it. I haven't.
It's fun.
I'll probably play it eventually. I
should
heard
duo.
that Rod of Ages is getting removed though, and so it already makes me not want to play it because there's no Ohm Wrecker, there's soon to be no Rod of Ages. What is the point even? I guess we'll find out later because right now we're talking about League of Legends.
Ladies and gentlemen, we made it through an entire series without Magical talking about Ohm Wrecker, and streak couldn't last.
I was like, you knew it was bound to end soon. It always does.
Always
Right now, Kumbo was able to get a good amount of damage back onto Tony Top into the top lane. But unfortunately, it's not really something that is going to be too tangible. It feels like that's been a lot of this game. These little like skirmishes, a little bit of trade of damage, but nothing really amounts from it. Maybe your Rift Herald there, as you can see, Contracts was able to get a Dragon there, as FlyQuest Academy were able to get theirs. But they got to get a bit more if they want to be able to do anything, especially for Evil Geniuses. This is a composition that might have split push options, but it's a team fight comp coming in from FlyQuest, so they're going to be able to hold their own pretty well.
And with the teleport about halfway done for Kumo, he has the ultimate available, and it feels like Evil Genius Academy just don't have an easy play they can make. The pick potential pretty limited with the amount of CC they have outside of Tony Top. Yes, you can get Mystiques in there, but he has to really be in a forward position, and more often than not, that gets capitalized on by an enemy team. And
right there, you kind of realize why Aphelios Thresh was such a long-standing bot lane that you had to ban Thresh away if you wanted to make sure you took Aphelios, because you can send Aphelios all the way towards the turret. As long as you have that lantern, doesn't matter if your Contracts and have a great flank angle, he's gonna be safe.
But what does matter is this dragon that's just spawned in, the Mountain Dragon, second of the game. Evil Genius Academy in position to contest.
And it's going to be the ward spotting out NXI. Contracts is hanging around the mid lane, though, looking to see if they can make the play on triple. All the while, it's going to be a little bit of a skirmish coming in. Maybe Contracts might be able to find a spear on an NXI. Barely not going to be able to get in range. They got the root onto Dream's bot lane, but No one really doing anything. The Rift Herald will be able to get a lot of play
Contracts?
gold. His Dreams is a bit too far out. They should have known the contract was nearby. NXI got to gallop towards the spot lane. They're going to be able to get the root. It's only onto Dream. Spear connecting as well. Going to use the Moonlight Sigil to be able to get the root onto Shore, you, and onto Mystiques. Going to have the great pull back in. Landing onto the right target, burning him down, flashed away, tried to survive with Dawning Shadow, a lot of damage on it. Jumped in, first blood coming in from Gunter, and look who's here, it's the Goon Squad of EG. They're living evil, baby. They got a double kill, they got 3 kills in the bot lane to start off this game right.
Whoa, stay salty, my friends, as Evil Geniuses Academy thwart the play, they get the advantage, and now they're going to be able to pick up a dragon. A very, very good gank coming in from the side of Mystique's, able to just get in the middle, take the damage that he needed, and get his AD to safety. That was an incredible devour.
I gotta say, that was one of those fights where it looked like it was teetering on a knife's edge the entire time, but as you said, being able to save Shoryu so many times, Mystique was able to make it so they had this great amount of damage. But we take a look at the beginning of this play, and it almost seemed like maybe it was FlyQuest the ones that were going to be the benefactors of this fight.
It did look that way in the beginning, just because Contracts, once he had done his entire spell rotation, didn't have much. This was also a clutch Moonlight Sigil, as you pointed out. But then, where was the damage that could come in? You can't get onto Shoryu past Mystiques, and the teleports were already flying in from Evil Geniuses Academy. It wasn't enough to have the Shen teleport, because he's just not enough to protect Dreams. He was already low, and Tomo, in the middle of everyone, can't get out.
No, plus Triple didn't even have the TP, wasn't even trying to rotate towards the bot lane. So you had the Goon Squad that was able to show up just in the nick of time for EG, and now they've got this advantage they need to. They've got the Divine Tsundere coming in from Tony Top. You already have the Night Harvester now completed by Contracts. All pretty much their members except for Jojo P and their carries are in this position where they've got their mythics.
And Jojo P trying to make plays for himself, but man, Triple just keeps chunking him out. And in the 1v1 at the very least, FlyQuest Academy are looking confident in the mid lane. And with that, I feel like they at least have an option for late game scaling. And they have this character who can really bring about damage as the game goes on in Triple. If he manages to get a couple kills, that'd be nice. But for the moment, holding on might just be enough.
But that's the thing, they gotta still hold on, and I'm imagining that Evil Geniuses are not about to relent, not when they're able to get 2 kills onto Contracts. They now have themselves a 3,000 gold lead over FlyQuest Academy, then the Dragon on top of that. They can keep making these plays and try to see if they can catch out FlyQuest Academy. We're trying to get the gold necessary to hold even.
And they might just be able to get it with this top lane play. You can see how many people have rotated towards that top side. FlyQuest Academy looking for the hook. Dreams needs to land it onto Mystiques, because at this point in the game, landing onto Shoryu just isn't going to help anything. And this dive could very well happen.
They're looking to see if they can set this up. It's going to be difficult.
Nice
Got
hook.
the pull onto Shoryu. Finally devoured. They have the root, and they've blown up the bot lane. No Dawning Shadows today. A lot of damage taken by Triple. He had to flash away. Contracts could show up. Spear not going to be able to connect. They don't have the TPs just yet, so Contracts instead trying to see if he can whittle and take away the minion instead, so that way they're not losing too much and maybe are going to be able to get the first hurt. There it is.
Oh, very nice by Jojo P to just barely take that away from FlyQuest Academy. With that, Evil Geniuses Academy hold on to their lead, but Shoryu and Mystique's going down means FlyQuest Academy have a hold into this game, and now they can finally scale up. They have the ability to go back and get some real item spikes and bring themselves power as we get into the 15-minute mark of this game.
And with that power, they're hoping that they can get that over to Tomo, but Tomo stayed in the bot lane. They're going to be able to get the hook. That's going to be the Dawning Shadow getting a lot of damage. Flashed away. Contracts, no mana, trying to be able to escape from the battle. Will be able to survive, but so will Tomo and Dreams.
Well, the good news is Tomo also had very little mana, so wasn't able to get the second proc of the Gravitum and actually lock him in place. With that, Shoryu, very nice heads-up play to use the Dawning Shadow, and also got the flash out of Tomo. So overall, Evil Geniuses Academy walk away from that surprise gank reasonably well.
I would say that was definitely well worth for Evil Geniuses to be able to get that. Now, Tomo is a little bit of an easier target. Of course, still has the Lantern to be able to stay safe. But at least it's something that you can try to see if you can punish, especially since you have those mythics now completed compared to those FlyQuest who are still working on theirs. You can see NXI, Triple, Tomo, those are really the ones who need to be able to get them. Aren't really at that position just yet. It's only Tomo that's got himself the Kraken Slayer.
It's going to be a tough battle, but another tough battle, Kumo versus 2.
Good dodge away from the spear. Trying to see if he can outlast and survive. Shadow dash flashed away. The spear connects. Burn to the red buff. Killing spree for Contracts.
Wow, just barely enough damage there for the gank. The Hextech ultimatum doing wonders for something like a Nidalee who needs skill shots in order to get damage down. Very good heads-up play, but with that, FlyQuest Academy are able to get the Rift Herald. However, Evil Geniuses Academy have the advantage on the Dragon that's going to be spawning in 30 seconds.
Dragon, they got the tier 1 bot lane. They're trading it for the Rift Herald, sure, but this is a lot of control that Evil Geniuses Academy have been able to grab for themselves, and putting more of this gold in Tony Top. The split push potential is going to be nice for them, as JoJo was able to read that potential gank coming in from NXI and Dreams very well to be able to survive and get away.
And the rest of the FlyQuest Academy squad is just going to stay top. They have the Rift Herald that they can pop and will. Looks like they're just going to push onto this turret and say, you know, we don't need the dragon. We just need turrets and we need gold. We need it now.
Exactly, and trying to get that gold over to Tomo would be nice, but unfortunately it's just going to be a simple charge, not even going to be able to get the turret, which means that Shoryu, Mistakes, they're grabbing themselves a bunch of gold and they're going to be happy.
Yep, we have reached the point where Shoryu can farm for himself. You can see the the Blackness Scythe has been upgraded. And with that, the rest of the team is just going to rotate down towards that dragon. Infernal is available in triple, needs to be careful of his positioning.
That he does. He's got to be a bit careful. You can see that he's got a little bit of some backup coming in from Dreams and NXI. They think they can chip out some damage onto Evil Geniuses Academy, but Tony Top is looking for the flank. He is looking for the angle to be able to jump on top of Tomo.
And Contracts landing that spear onto Dreams means they have to consider their options on the side of FlyQuest Academy. Kumo on the backside just can't get in.
They failed completely. They were too afraid. Want to see if they could trade a tier 1 for the Dragon, but now they're far out. This could be the flank coming in from Evil Geniuses Academy that they were setting up before. They've got the mist to be able to shroud Tony Top, but they backed out of that one. Even though they thought they have the advantage, they don't want to risk anything just yet.
And with that, you can see Evil Geniuses Academy are going to just kind of back off, use the gold that they've accumulated, hopefully finish a couple items. You can see that JoJo Pune with the Gale Force is looking to finish up the Sheen item, the Kraken Slayer for Shoryu as well. Going to be pretty darn nice. Evil Geniuses Academy, they are in position to contest this Baron when it comes up, but they don't want to start it quite yet. They don't have the damage, but they do have the ability to ward out and stay safe.
Right now, just trying to stay safe is what FlyQuest Academy are doing too. They're waiting it out. Not wanting to get anything too much. Again, they have good scaling options.
They do. They absolutely have the ability to scale up with the Victor and with the Lilia, and especially with Shen protecting anyone will make them a tank. But they do have to worry about the spike that's coming in. We're at about 19 minutes and 30 seconds, and you can see JoJo Pune has in fact finished the Essence Reaver coming out. So I imagine Evil Geniuses Academy want to play around this as much as possible if they can find the engage they want.
They want to be able to find that engage, but unfortunately, they're still waiting it out and trying to see if they can get anything really, but they're just kind of forced back, waiting it out.
Tony Top, though, he's rotating towards that bot side. Might even look towards mid, where Tomo has the lantern and has taken it.
Taking the lantern. Yeah, I've got to be safe, though. It's not really worrying about too much there, just kind of staying back, staying safe, not really worrying about where he's positioned. For the rest of Evil Geniuses Academy, I'm still waiting for them to pull that trigger. They're staying so safe, and I feel like that's more of a detriment for them. They're sure FlyQuest Academy are also staying safe for themselves, but you're the team that needs to snowball. You're the team that needs to be proactive, trying to see if you can catch out FlyQuest, but you're letting them scale up as a team that wants to scale up.
JoJo Pune, though, contesting along with Contracts, who's just in the area looking for the spear if he can land it. However, Triple, staying safe in his positioning, won't be susceptible to that quite yet.
Yeah, exactly. It's right now. Triple!
Oh
no!
What?
Right on top of Contracts, flashing away. Chaos Storm doing a lot of damage, dodging away from the spear. As on the other side, Tony Top and Kumo having a little bit of a skirmish, but not getting too much since it is going to be the wet noodle fight. Oh, the spear flashed in! Rampage for a Contract.
Yeah, you look at that bomb plant play and you say, okay, that wasn't great. But the vision wasn't there. Evil Geniuses Academy did manage to clear that out. And also, I don't think Triple saw the spear that went in towards Romp. If he did, then that's a big oof. Otherwise, well played by Contracts to just kind of hide in the bush, use the vision advantage, and then go all in against the mid laner who was very much out of position.
Yeah, unfortunate. Now that means that's that proactive play we want to see, even if it was kind of gifted over to Contracts, being able to have Triple jump into his awaiting arms inside of that brush. It's the advantage they wanted. They can set up all that vision, now push it around the Baron. Look at how red the map is around that pit, where there is no way FlyQuest Academy can enter anywhere near that without being spotted a mile away.
I do also like the central vision more than anything else. You can see 3 control wards going on towards the middle of the map, 1 in lane, 2 in the south river. So this sets them up both for Baron and Dragon, because if there's a trade that can go on, at least Evil Geniuses Academy know that it's happening and can make that decision, whereas FlyQuest Academy kind of have to take guesses in the dark.
Exactly, and that's kind of the best way to be in this kind of competition, a proactive team, trying to see if it can catch teams out who aren't prepared for you. They're going in blind constantly, hoping, praying that you're not there on the other side waiting for you.
You have to hope, and at this point, Evil Geniuses Academy, they have all shown themselves except for Jojo Pune, so at the very least, FlyQuest Academy have information. But the question is, how do they act on it? Because Kumo's going towards the bot side, almost has ultimate up, but does not quite have the stand united. And FlyQuest Academy is getting aggressive.
And when we look back towards the items, NXI now full build, technically, as Lilia, since all you really need is that Sonia's. But the rest of the members are still kind of falling behind. You can see it's an item discrepancy between NXI and Contracts. You look mid lane, you have that Essence Reaver that you're talking about, but also the Caulfield's Warhammer. Working on probably getting the Navari Quick Blaze. Then you look towards the bot lane where, sure, you can say, yeah, Tomo's got a lead over Senna, but it's the fasting Senna. It's not really that big of a statement.
And with that, Evil Geniuses feel confident. They might just look for the fight here.
Tomo. Oh, unfortunately, he brought the root onto his team. Contracts goes golden, but it's Dreams who ties first. Onto a lot of members. NXI, he's got the little lullaby. Can they follow it up? Trying to get the flash Shin to take down Joryu. Tony top. He's running rampant in the back line. Going to be able to get a lot of damage onto Tomo, but he has to flash away to be able to survive. FlyQuest Academy. They pull the trigger. They find the fight. Tony top. Trying to escape, burning, he barely survives, but that is still going to be the dragon secured by FlyQuest.
Wow, Tony Top barely making it out of that, but Evil Geniuses Academy, they had the 3-man route, they just overextended afterwards. You have to worry about NXI in the middle of any fight because the 4-man Lilithine Lullaby was devastating as the fight went on, and Evil Geniuses Academy didn't have a good answer. They had to scatter, they didn't have a way to re-engage, and they just lost members one after another.
We took a look at this fight, and it's one of those fights that looks good for Evil Geniuses Academy, the proactive team. In fact, the pull back in to get the 3-man route seemed all perfect.
Yeah, it's the re-engage by Kumo and NXI that just makes it crazy. You could see the 3-man queue coming in from NXI, followed by the Lilting Lullaby, and free damage coming in from Tomo means there's no way to win that fight if you're Evil Geniuses Academy.
And it's the team fight prowess that we'd expect out of FlyQuest Academy, where they are able to get the push back into them, then re-engage. They absorb so much from Evil Geniuses that now what do you do as this team that's meant to be proactive? You're meant to be the ones constantly finding these leads, but when you're the ones who have to play proactive into a team that is fine playing reactively, you're kind of scratching your heads and hoping that you can find a pick instead.
Well, it's Tomo who actually gets a little bit of damage onto Mystiques, but I don't think this is going to turn into a full fight just yet. The Stand United not off cooldown. A lot of Summoner spells still down for FlyQuest Academy, and Evil Geniuses Academy are really, really slippery, have the ability to get out with both Mystiques and Contracts being impossibly hard to hit.
But Tomo keeps eating these spears, and that could be a way that maybe Evil Geniuses can capitalize, since that is the one with the damage at the moment. I talked about how Tomo having that little bit of an item lead, but it's over Shoryu on a fasting Senna, but that's still a lead regardless, and you could utilize that with Tomo having to play so far forward and even getting the calling, the body block for Dreams with the root on top of him. Contracts is looking for this flank. He wants to be able to dive into the back line, but unfortunately just not finding the spears on triple, barely dodging away from so many of them.
It's so close, but without that damage, Evil Geniuses Academy don't feel confident to take a fight. Again, the engage options on this team comp they've drafted, very, very limited. They have to get the poke down, and without that, they just really don't have a team fight. FlyQuest Academy taking full advantage.
As they wait it out, waiting for the cycles of ults and cooldowns to be able to have that particular fight that works so well for them. They're pushing back, getting some vision control around this Baron pit that they had been snuffed out of for so long. They had no idea what was happening around this pit for the past 5 minutes, but now that they've been able to secure a little bit of vision, it makes it a little less risky for them to try to push out now.
It's less risky, but it's still a risk, somewhat. You have to worry about the single pick potential that can come out of both these teams, honestly. And if you don't have 5 men and at very least Kumo ready to teleport onto you, then it's going to turn into a bloodbath. Evil Geniuses Academy still focused on that top side, will take a reset for the moment. And as this game slows down, you have to wonder what is the proactive option that Evil Geniuses Academy can do, because all they have is vision right now and the ability to poke.
I'm wondering that as well, Sam. I'm wondering what they can do to be able to catch out FlyQuest, since this is that mid game we talked about. We set up that FlyQuest Academy, play for the mid, play for the late, team fight, team fight, team fight. And they are set up at that position to be able to do just that. As long as they stay together, stay as a unit, they'll be fine.
And you can see Triple, he's farming up the top lane, Kumo farming up the bot in this 3-1-1 composition. Teleports are available, so certainly seems like the right call, but I have to wonder if Mystiques is going to try to make a play with the Abyssal Voyage. For the moment, not going to happen. However, the Baron is available, and Evil Geniuses Academy setting up the death push.
They're setting it up, looking to see if they can get Tomo to eat yet another spear, because if they can get that, that means that Contracts can jump back on top of him yet again and try to see if they can actually kill him. But that's going to be the thing. They have to actually kill Tomo.
And that's proven to be pretty much impossible. There's just so much peel that can come out from this team. Dreams has been on point with this Thresh, and it's like FlyQuest is concaving in every single time Tomo is out of position. With the dragon spawning in, I feel like that's the next play.
But look at this read coming in from Evil Geniuses. They said, hey, you want to play around the dragon? Instead, we're going to force you to fight towards us. It's down to 50%. It's only Jojo Pune who ate the world seed, trying to see if they can have Kumo fighting with Tony Top on the other side. No flank just yet. Trying to see if they can hold him at bay, because he wants to be able to jump on top of Tomo. That is the target he wants to be able to get to, but he's not able to get there just yet. They have to peel back, and Evil Geniuses go right back to the Baron.
Oh, Tony Top, though.
The hook lands. Tony Top taken out. The flank is gone, and they can force off Evil Geniuses Academy.
And with that, FlyQuest Academy can start their own Baron. Let's see if they do. Actually, they do. And Shoryu in position to stop this. Jojo Pune also in position. Let's see what the response is.
Look at Contract, trying to see if they can land a spear, but it's going to be the flash in. Trying to see if they can gobble up and save Shoryu's life. Dawning Shadow gets the shield, but Mystique has to pop thick skin. Finally, he dies. They've taken out Catfish, and with 5 members still here, Dreams, he's still alive. A lot of damage on NXI. They got the root they needed to. The spears are being eaten up alive by Evil Geniuses, trying to see if they can grab anybody, but it's jumped in, shut down Jojo Pune, take out the mid laner. The Contract Shoryu still up, trying desperately, trying everything to poke out FlyQuest Academy from this Baron pit. Down to 50%. They've got low health bars on FlyQuest Academy. They might be able to jump in. Maybe they can manage a steal, manage a route onto anybody. Looking to see now that Tony Top showed up, and they sniped out Dreams. They forced them away. Contracts has jumped inside of the Baron. Is he going to try to see if they can take the Baron? Is still active. Flash coming in. Then Triple's gone.
Teleport!
And is gone. They've got the jump in. Kumo's out of there. Tomo is finally finished off at Evil Geniuses Academy. They managed to steal away the Baron.
What was that? Just back and forth Baron fighting. Evil Geniuses started off, they feel confident, but FlyQuest Academy flies on in, only to die themselves, just back and forth. And Evil Geniuses Academy, at the end of the day, come out with the Baron, with the Dragon, and with several kills to their name. What was that?
What indeed was that? We gotta take a look, because it was a long, drawn-out fight.
Okay, so it starts off with a nice flash taunt from Kumo, forcing a lot onto Mystiques, who then becomes the target and goes down. From there, Evil Geniuses Academy, they're just waiting. Contracts land spear after spear, softening up FlyQuest Academy. Jojo Pune becomes the next target, but that's not enough because Contracts is still fully healthy and alive. FlyQuest then overcommit for another 30 seconds. And with that Baron debuff ticking, you can't just keep eating spear after spear. The teleports are going to come in. The rest of the team is going to come in. What were you thinking, FlyQuest Academy?
Well, and the thing is, Tony Top, too, showing up in the nick of time to be able to help out the team when they got the snipe on the Dreams, force them out, and with how low they are, it's pretty much cleanup crew at that point.
Yeah, Shoryu was still on the outside. You had Tony Top being too tanky in the middle, especially just crucially still having his ult, and Contracts, he was everywhere he needed to be. He found the targets that they needed the entire time. And after all of that is said and done, Evil Geniuses Academy, 3 dragons, a Baron buff, and 4,000 gold advantage right now are pushing down the mid lane.
And this is that veteran status that Contracts has to his name, showing how cool, calm, collected he can be when it looks like it's a dire situation. 2v4, they are not afraid to be able to put back the pressure onto FlyQuest and somehow find the fight to be able to get Baron, and now are at the precipice of victory here in Game 1.
It's the precipice, Magical, but again, FlyQuest Academy, they've drafted for the late game. They have the team fight ability, and Dreams has landed hook after hook. I don't know that without the minute-long Baron play, Evil Geniuses has the capacity to kill another member.
Trying to see if Evil Geniuses don't even have to bother killing. They got the pull back in. Jojo Bune tried to see if he could get away. Kumo not able to get the Shadow Dash he needed to. And look at Tony Top right in the middle of everybody. He's got the ultimatum to knock him back in. He has the shields as well.
Dreams!
Drawn back in. It's going to be a 1-for-1 trade at the moment. But still, FlyQuest might be able to get the damage. They've scared away Evil Geniuses Academy for now.
And that's the thing, Magical. Evil Geniuses Academy, they were able to win the Baron fight because of the Baron debuff and the positioning that FlyQuest Academy chose to take. Now, without that positioning, can they get any more? The answer, unclear.
Gotta be a little bit more careful there. You might feel tanky, but it's more into the AD threats. Contracts proving why he is going to be the scary cat and the scary cougar in this match.
He's very, very scary, able to get poke damage down, but I'm just not seeing the kill potential without those last-minute spears, those final fadeaway shots. Evil Geniuses Academy, they go all in with Tony Top, but no one can follow him up.
That is true. And I feel like that is going to be something that Evil Genius Academy, if they can find a pick, if they can separate FlyQuest Academy, maybe that's how they can win. Otherwise, FlyQuest Academy, just don't be having a Baron buff on debuff on top of you, and you'll be fine. Like you mentioned, they've got the front line, they've got Kumo, they've got Dreams that can stand in front of them, or you can even have Dreams stand back so that Tomo can feel a little bit more confident, stepping out just like that.
And you can see Triple, the hidden threat of this team, 4-1-5 right now, has just been dealing damage to this entire squad of Evil Geniuses Academy, and there isn't really an answer for him. There's no one that can dive onto the back line after Tony Top has done his entire spell rotation. They try and they try, but they can't find the engage without great positioning, and unfortunately, around the base, FlyQuest Academy have every advantage when it comes to positioning.
Maybe that's the idea. Maybe you don't try to fight them inside the base. Look what's about to come up. We got 1 minute and 10 seconds until we have an Infernal Dragon, and that could be the soul picked up by Evil Geniuses. If they can force out FlyQuest Academy into their hands, fight them on their territory, that might be their opportunity to be able to win.
And this is actually a really important soul for Evil Geniuses Academy. With the poke composition they've drafted, they're going to be able to do a lot more damage with that Infernal Soul, able to get a little more damage after every single spear or every single Senna Q that finds their way.
And you can see right now, they're trying to see if they can set up control around this pit. Kumo try to scare off Tony Top, but Dreams took a lot of damage. And Tony Top has himself a GA if he wants to be able to dive into the back line and be able to see if he can pick off someone like Tomo. They're trying to see if they can get back into the pit, but right now, Evil Geniuses Academy, they've got control.
They have control, the positioning is good, and you can see FlyQuest Academy also know that, so they're backing out, going towards this mid side. If they decide for a mid push, Magical, I feel like that's going to be giving up way too much.
It could be, but then again, what would you rather have, a tier 2 turret or the Infernal Soul? And that's got to be the answer that FlyQuest need to answer right now, because they're forcing this TP in from Triple, trying to be able to get back in, but it's just a little bit of poke coming in over and over again. The flash in, Tony Top's into the backline on top of Tomo, flashing on top of him. The shield might be enough, but he's still alive. Finally, he dies, and now everyone else on FlyQuest are jumped on top of. Jojo Bune is able to get enough damage, staying with Tony Top to scare away and make sure that they have the game.
And the teleport for Tony Top means they are looking to at least get an inhibitor, if not end the game.
They might end, yeah. Look at that. Mistakes is here, and he can easily help finish off this game. They're just going to try to see if they can end it now.
Oh, FlyQuest Academy, they had the beginning of that fight, but unfortunately the poke, too much, and they engaged from contracts. Very defective to make sure NXI and Tomo could not get the damage they needed. This is going to be the end of the game, Magical. FlyQuest Academy, just barely not enough.
FlyQuest Academy, Kumo's trying desperately to be able to stop them from being able to win the game, but unfortunately he's not tanky enough, and Dreams is a little too late to the party. The flame with the low health bars does not matter, because game number 1 is picked up by Evil Geniuses Academy.
Whew, it was back and forth, Magical, and that Baron fight was absurd. But Evil Geniuses Academy, they outplay, they outpoke, and they outfight FlyQuest Academy at the end of that game.
That they did, and it was a well-deserved victory coming in from them. I think I'm gonna need a little bit of a break for my throat, because man, was that game wild. That Baron fight was so long, but at the end of the day, we saw who was able to get game number 1. It was Evil Geniuses Academy. We're gonna toss it over to a break and get back ready for game 2 in just a little bit, so stick around.